After we assemble the spice racks and the lever arms and the extension dampers, the next step is to attach these blocks of wood that you see right here on either side of the rear spice rack. These blocks of woods allow for the attachment of the drawer slides to the entire assembly, and the only place where the drawer slides are attached to the assembly are on these blocks of wood. And that's why you see overkill with the bolts and the screws on this particular still photo. But bottom line, I was trying to make sure that these pieces of wood would handle the weight of 3 fully loaded spice racks. After some trial and error, I ended up adding this very thin carriage bolt that you see right there, which not only added reinforcement to the Phillips head screws, but also prevented the drawer slide arm from pivoting up and down, as I'm trying to demonstrate right here in this shot. Now, probably 1 or 2 Phillips heads in the back are sufficient. I don't think you need all 3, but make sure you add carriage bolts on either side of this assembly. Let's take a look at the other side of the assembly. You can see I've got the same configuration, a couple of Phillips heads, but the more important thing, the carriage bolt is there as well. So now the drawer slides will stay nice and stable, and there's also added support for an assembly with 3 spice racks with 30 spice jars. As you can see, the carriage bolt attaches to the actual side of the rear spice rack, and it won't get in the way of the jars. Let's have a look at the whole assembly from above, where I want to show that there needs to be a little bit of distance between the sliders and the carriage bolts and the extension dampers, and that's what this piece of wood is for on each side of the assembly. That gap and those blocks of wood are pretty crucial for the whole design. Now when we go inside the cabinet, you can see I've got 2 pieces of wood, one on either side of the cabinet, that I'm using to mount the drawer slides on. And I fastened some angle irons on the back of these pieces of wood. I didn't use any fasteners on the front. I wanted these pieces of wood to have some give near the front, as you can see right there. And I'll explain later why that is. And you can see I've got the drawer slides mounted on these pieces of wood. And now that we've got all this constructed, I can mount the entire assembly that holds the spice racks into the cabinet. Placing the rack assembly into the drawer slides in the cabinet, pretty much just like installing a regular drawer. You just got to line up the drawer slides like so. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finessing, and once you get everything lined up, again, just like installing a regular cabinet drawer, you can just give the whole assembly a little bit of a shove, and once it's in there, you're pretty much done. Should you ever need to remove the assembly down the road, you can just remove it like you would a cabinet drawer. Just slide it out and remove it. Even if you're mounting these spice racks in a confined space, you'll still end up with 2 1/4 inches of space above them to mount a small shelf if you like. The arrow here points to movement on the pieces of wood where I mounted the drawer slides. You'll see the fronts of these pieces of wood move a little bit. They flex a little bit. That's why I didn't fasten those pieces in place at the front with angle irons like I did in the back. That flex allows the complete system to move in and out of the cabinet with ease. I placed wooden feet like you see right there at the bottom of the front spice rack, just to allow for some space to grab the front rack and pull it out and push it back into the cabinet. And I also placed these chair glides on either side of the front spice rack as grips, but turns out they're not necessary. I hope my expandable retractable spice rack design helps you keep your kitchen organized and your cooking adventures delicious. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.